I'm sick of it. I am actually sick of it. I'm sick of reading the same shit 100 times. Sometimes I'll be reading a young adult book and I will sit there and I will actually get angry and I need to take a moment to just calm down, like, boy, better let out the breath that I didn't know I was holding. It's come to the fact that I've realized with my inevitable death, man, I don't have time to be wasting on generic shit. First thing I'm sick of reading in young adult literature is main characters who are blander than my bloody wolves and my jokes. I just don't understand why authors write these main characters who want to be the physical embodiment of unseasoned chicken so bad. You open up a book and you can just tell from the first line what type of book it's gonna be. They'll be like, I wake up, I brush my mousy brown hair and look into the mirror and stare up my grey, green, cerulean, blue, paracetamol colored eyes. Today is the day of the choosing, but I am part of the other. They cannot know, they must not know. So these characters suffer from what I call a special snowflake syndrome, when somehow they're apparently really smart. They can calculate like the square root of pi within 0.3 seconds. They can also kick ass, but somehow at the same time they're unemotional and cold and stoic and really like hardcore, and they don't feel emotion. Why do authors think that being a strong female character, woo, feminism means that these people have to kick people in the balls and shoot guns a lot and have no emotions? It's like you have to be complex as well. You can't just punching someone does not mean you're a strong female character. It just means you're violent. It's like these authors, they'll write in sort of like the present tense and it'll all just be sort of the same very clipped short syntax, very I did this, I thought this, and it's just like, okay, cool story, bro, move on, I'm getting bored. And all the female characters, they're all the same. There's nothing that differentiates them apart from their special blood or whatever from every other character that I've ever read, and they all blend into one big white mash. The second thing that young adult really needs to stop is having 600,000 billion point of views when you can barely write one that isn't shit. I mean, some writers just try and compensate for not being able to write one good, solid, interesting plot lines. I think, oh, well, I can't write one well, might as well add in 5 other different characters and 5 other subplots and try to interlink all of them, but it just ends up being a big mess, or it just ends up being boring. Allegiant, did we need 4's point of view? Do I care? Like, even with Air of Fire, like Manon, did I care? Like, no. The other thing young adult needs to stop is the romanticized bad boy. Can someone please explain this to me? Because I just really don't get it. How are you gonna be 15/16 years old, fall in love within the space of 2 or 3 days, and suddenly be risking life and death for this one person because she's not like other girls when I can't even get the flies to land on me, but okay. Yeah, I understand you want to write complex characters, so they have to have flaws. I mean, nobody's perfect. Your favorite's problematic. Some of these relationships that I'm reading about with these teenagers, and it's just like so controlling, and it's so abusive, and it's so possessive, and it's so like, it's just uncomfortable for me to read. I mean, when you're young, you're like, oh my god, this is so romantic. Look at the way he like bruised her, and then now he's saying sorry. Oh, this is goals. These bad boys are perfect. Somehow they're multilingual, they can do taekwondo, they're also really smart, they're probably really rich, they probably have daddy issues as well, and somehow they have ripped abs at the age of like 15, and they fall in love with the most boring, awkward, nerdy, klutzy, mousy, lame protagonist who has no emotions, and it's just like, what's the appeal? Why does he fall in love with her? I don't understand. It's kind of something that appeals to sort of like younger audiences and like our fantasies. Like younger me, I loved it. It's like, let's be real here, isn't that everyone's fantasy, when you can be a boring little piece of shit but still get the hot perfect dude? The fourth thing that young adult really needs to stop is whenever the whole diversity thing, when you have characters who are diverse or who aren't hetero, can you please stop making us out to be a walking piece of exotic fruit cream whipped caramel macchiato latte chocolate flavored cinnamon swirl tree bark type shit. Like, what the heck? Are we not human? Like, just because you have diverse characters in doesn't mean it has to be about being diverse. It doesn't mean it has to be about being a minority. It doesn't mean it has to be about the struggles. You know what I mean? Like, you can just put in diverse characters and just, that's it. Like, I don't like it when their defining feature or their defining personality is the fact that they're black, or it's the fact that they're Asian, or it's the fact that they're gay. It's like, you can just be human and just be in your book. Like, I don't understand why. I think it is important to have books about being a minority and like sort of like the struggles, and there's like a time and place for them. And the last thing that I was reading a book, and it's like, in young adult, why are the descriptions so extra? You can just really tell when the author's trying to be all fancy and they're trying to use a lot of embellishments in their writing, and they're using lots of adverbs, lots of adjectives. Like, okay, just because in primary school your teacher told you that it's really good to use loads of adjectives doesn't mean you have to use like 700 synonyms for the word red to describe someone's lips. Sometimes I sit here and I think to myself, am I reading a published author, or am I reading like a printed version of a Wattpad story? Sometimes eyes are just eyes, you know. They don't have to be these like crystal glowing sapphire cerulean diamond globular glowing orbs. Okay, and there was one time I was reading a young adult book, I don't remember which one it was, but it was like this guy was sleeping and the author was like, his lashes lay and rested against his cheeks. Like, bitch, what the fuck? What type of long ass lashes do you have that rest? How do your lashes even lay against your cheeks? Like, your cheeks are here and your eyes are, what? I'm just like, okay. So yeah, stay in tune for the next roast session where we just rip apart young adult tropes and just talk about how shit they are and how they really need to stop. And it's just like, please be original sometimes. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe, woo, follow me on Twitter, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Snapchat. Okay, I'll see you next time.